Shut up and sit down.
What's the story, Internet? I hope everyone is having a wonderful day so far. So as promised in yesterday's video, today I'm going to review the Premier League match today and then go over the week's fixtures, because we have some Premier League fixtures coming up, and then also go over some of the Bundesliga matches, because there's some big matches coming up in the Bundesliga this week, at least in terms to the table. Not necessarily the biggest rivalry matches, but in terms of the table, they're pretty big. So let's start off with today's match. So today was Arsenal versus Newcastle, and Arsenal ended up winning 3-0. So Arsenal fans will be happy because they've broken into the top of the table. They are now in 10th. So you can see them just peering over the edge there, just coming to say hello. So yeah, no question of the result. They were pretty good for the money. The statistics were in their favour. They had 20 shots with 6 on target to Newcastle's 4-1. They had the possession. No questions asked, really. You could see it going this way with the form that Arsenal had and the form that Newcastle had. So unsurprising, really. So before we get into the Premier League fixtures for the rest of the week, start with the Bundesliga. So big one is Leverkusen versus Dortmund. And the reason that's a big one is because it's third against fourth, and they're both level on 29 points. So whoever wins, or even if it's a draw, that'll be very telling for the rest of the table. Both teams in fine form. Leverkusen is currently above Dortmund on goal difference, so it should be a heavily entertaining match. The other one that no one would have thought that this would be a big match at the beginning of the season, but is Leipzig versus Union Berlin, because that is second versus fifth, and Union Berlin are 4 points behind Leipzig. However, if they win, that will put them 1 point behind Leipzig, and if Leverkusen and Dortmund draw, put them above them. If Leverkusen wins, it'll put them above Dortmund. If Dortmund wins, it'll put them above Leverkusen. So two very, very important matches in terms of the Bundesliga. Bayern Munich just have to hope that they can hold off against Augsburg, which shouldn't be too big of a thing because they're playing the Augsburg are in 11th place. But yeah, it should be a very interesting time in the Bundesliga this week. La Liga, Serie A, not too many big matches. There's no rivalries. There's not really any like big important matches in terms of the table. AC Milan did win 2-0 today, so they continue their streak, continue just striding forward in the table. And so yeah, so no major matches in those two leagues this week. So let's go into the Premier League. So tomorrow we have West Ham versus West Brom. So West Ham have been doing very well recently this season. They beat Burnley over the weekend, so they'll be feeling quite positive. West Brom, though, beat Wolves, so they'll be feeling even more positive with the help of Sam Allardyce. So should be an entertaining match. I think West Ham are going to edge it, not just because they're at home, but just I think they've been the better performing team. Not just saying that because of the table, but even though they haven't always had results going their way and they've been a bit up and down, they've performed admirably. So I think this is going to be West Ham's day, but wouldn't be surprised to see a West Brom win. So Leicester City versus Chelsea. This is a relatively important match for the terms of the table, because it's third against seventh, and even though that sounds like it's a far off number, Chelsea are only 6 points behind Leicester. So if Leicester win, they will go top of the table for the time being. Yeah, they've got a better goal difference than Manchester United, so they'd go top of the table. Actually, sorry, they'd go top of the table with a point anyway. So it just shows how close this is. But if Chelsea win, they would only move up one position, but they'd move above Everton, 1 point behind Tottenham, 2 points behind Liverpool. So this is quite an important match for the rest of the league. Chelsea will be happy after beating London rivals Fulham, and Leicester will be over the moon after beating Southampton, who have been an incredibly positive team this season. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think it could go either way, but I think Leicester are probably the favourites just because of how their season's been going, and plus they'll want to get into that first spot. So moving on to Wednesday, we've got Manchester City versus Aston Villa. Should be an entertaining match because Aston Villa are still Aston Villa, as long as they aren't still suffering from their COVID outbreak. I know their match over the weekend was postponed against Everton. So if they are back fit, that means they'll have had a lot of time to recover and could come out fighting. But Manchester City did win 4-0 quite impressively over Crystal Palace yesterday. So I think it should be an entertaining match at least. I think City's still going to edge it though, just a little bit. I don't think Aston Villa will be able to take care of it. But funnily enough, just like Manchester United's match last week against Burnley, this is the replay from the first match of the season that Man City was supposed to have that was delayed because of all the European football. So it's interesting to see that it's being played now in January. Speaking of Manchester United, another match on Wednesday, Manchester United versus Fulham. I think Manchester United will expect to win this match, but nothing's given in this Premier League. Yes, Fulham haven't been playing the best, but they only lost narrowly to Chelsea, probably down to the red card. They drew 1-1 with Tottenham. And then before that, I'm just trying to see their most recent result before that. They had quite a while off with a lot of matches being postponed by the looks of it. And 0-0 against Southampton is the last match I can see before those. So don't count Fulham out. They're a team that will come out fighting, and they have some players that can punish you if you're not paying attention. But hopefully, in my opinion, hopefully Manchester United will continue their fine run of form and stay unbeaten and stay at the top of the table. And then on Thursday, another match is Liverpool versus Burnley. So you would say that Liverpool are going to win this. However, given their most recent run of form, goalless in 3 matches, still out a couple of defenders, Burnley have the opportunity. I think this is going to be another draw, but I don't think it's going to be goalless. I think it's going to be 1-1 maybe. I think Burnley will shut up shop, try and soak up pressure, and I think they'll catch Liverpool on the counter-attack. So yeah, I think this is going to be another draw. I could see Liverpool winning though, and it wouldn't surprise me if they did, but they are in a run of quite difficult matches coming up. So if they're going to win a match, they have to win this one and hopefully build on it. Not hopefully, but in their opinion, hopefully. So let's just go through and see what channels these matches are on this week. So West Ham versus West Brom is on NBC Sports Network. So is Leicester City versus Chelsea. So is Manchester City versus... Actually, all the matches this week are on NBCSN. And City against Villa and Liverpool against Burnley are also on Universo, if you fancy watching it in Spanish. So so that's the preview for this upcoming week's football. I'll be back on Thursday to review the matches, let you know what happened, and also preview the upcoming matches for the weekend. So in the meantime, I hope you're all staying safe, keeping out of trouble. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, ta-ra for now.